Hey homesteaders, gardeners, and cooks. I am making a batch of a copycat Rain Coast pecan rosemary crisp cracker. And I did this last year kind of on a whim, and I really liked them. And so I'm gonna make it again this year. They were a really nice holiday cracker to have on hand, and they're great just, to put out with cuts of meat and cheeses and things like that, or to just nibble on. And so you saw me make the beginning part of this recipe. The original recipe calls for 4 mini loaf pans, and I don't have mini loaf pans, and not only that, I don't want mini loaf pans because I know that I would almost never use them. And so the last thing I want is something that is gonna sit in my cupboard 99% of the time and that I'm almost never gonna use. And so last year I kind of improvised, and I thought, well, what do I have that's kind of loaf pan width? And the answer was a bunt pan, which I do use 3 or 4 times a year. And so I ended up making them in a bunt pan, and it totally worked. And so it's a little tricky. You're not gonna get the exact even thickness that you would if you were doing a loaf pan. This is kind of like a biscotti in that we cook it once, and then we slice it, and then we cook it a second time. And so that's kind of what I'm doing here. The one other big change that I've made to this recipe is it originally called for raisins, and I really am not a raisin person. And so I substituted cranberries instead. And so this is cranberry, pecan, pepita, which is sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, flax seeds. So they're very seedy crackers. And then the other change I made is the original recipe called for all-purpose flour, and I did half all-purpose and half whole wheat because I thought adding some whole wheat to the mix would not be a bad thing. So when you cut these, because it's a circle, you're not gonna get they're gonna be thinner on one end and fatter on the other end. But it worked last year. They baked up just fine. So you just lay these out on a cookie sheet and rebake them until they're crisp. And it works. And you get one part that's a little bit more crispy than the other, and that's kind of a nice flavor contrast. So yeah, not a bad thing. Have you guys seen these in the more gourmet grocery stores? I'm sure you can find them at Whole Foods. I feel like maybe I've seen them at Trader Joe's. I think my natural food store carries them, and there's a bunch of different kinds, and there's a bunch of different DIY copycats out there. This is my favorite of the ones that are on the market, and so this is the one I decided to duplicate. The one issue is you do run the risk. You can see how the fruit has kind of sunk to the bottom of the dough. It may have been a little bit less thick than it would have been if I had followed the original recipe. Whole wheat flour does not absorb moisture quite the way that all-purpose flour does, and so sometimes that will change the consistency of a dough. It called for buttermilk, and I actually did have, unusually, I had some fresh buttermilk on hand, but I had bought it for another project that I didn't get to, and it did not hold, and so it was sour, like past the point of normal buttermilk sour to the point of you need to throw this out sour. And so I always keep powdered buttermilk on hand, and so I just use powdered buttermilk instead. There's a possibility that thinned out the batter a little bit as well. But we're gonna be fine here. And these are a little bit messy. They're not perfect. I'm using a serrated knife to cut this. I wouldn't try to do this with a non-serrated knife. You really need especially because you're cutting through all of those seeds and all of that fruit. But I'm not worried about them being picture perfect. This is mostly just for my husband and I. And if I were like wanting to put this on a table for entertaining, I could just pick out the perfect ones and we'd eat the scratch and dent ones, just like I do with vegetables. So I'm just gonna spread these evenly. And you can see I've really got some different widths here because I was working pretty fast in terms of cutting them and probably could have done better there. The other thing, you take this, you bake this, take it out of the oven, let it cool for 10 minutes, then take it out of the tin, let it cool completely, and then you partially freeze it. And that makes cutting it easier. And so our weather is really cold right now, and so I actually just stuck it out on my back porch. I can feel that this is cold in the center. I might have gotten cleaner cuts if I had left it out there a little bit longer. It's hard to say. It was probably out there, gosh, at least a half an hour, if not more. All right, we got our second sheet done here. We're gonna cook these for 15 minutes and then flip them and rotate them and then cook them for probably another 15 minutes more until they're completely dry. Get these bad boys out of here. And I would say that I probably cooked these twice as long as what the recipe called for. So it took a long time for these to get crispy. There's still a little bit of softness, but I'm going to assume some of that is going to dissipate as they cool. And I also have other things I need to put in the oven, so I didn't want to wait any longer. The risk here is that if you don't dry them out enough and you actually store them for any length of time, they're gonna mold. And so, you know, it's a cracker, it's not a cookie. You want them to be dried out enough that they're gonna, you know, be able to store in a container for a week or two without going bad. And I think we're there. I did also turn on my convection. I have a convection on my oven, which is just basically a fan, and that helps. If you're trying to dry something out, it does help a little bit to give it a little bit of extra convection to add some airflow to that process. And I don't normally do this where I'm holding the tray, but I have stuff everywhere in my kitchen right now because I'm making like 3 different things at once. So we're just gonna get creative with this. But you guys, these are really tasty. There's a little bit of sweetness to them. You could probably make the recipe and cut the sugar a little bit and they would still be okay, especially because you've got the sweetness from the dried fruit that's in there as well. But they are really tasty. They've got a little bit of sweetness to them. Yeah, it's definitely a great holiday snack. And that little bit of rosemary in there, don't skip it. There's something about that rosemary note that just so makes this work. It's my favorite part of the recipe. So love the rosemary. Love that contrast with the sweetness of the cranberries. Really, really good. So there you go. Copycat Rain Coast crisps with pecans, rosemary, and cranberries, dried cranberries, along with a lot of other seeds and nuts, which makes them just lovely. The sesame seeds that went into this recipe, I actually grew myself. So that's kind of a fun thing. I tried that a couple of years ago and have since done it a second year, and you don't get a huge harvest. They're pretty fiddly and they tend to break open when they're ripe, and so it's really easy to lose part of the harvest, but a really fun seed to grow yourself. So there you go. Give this a try and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, Tribe. We'll see you next time.